grew up in Springfield Township. It's a really small suburb of Akron in Ohio. And I grew up with just my mom in a big house. My parents got divorced when I was about 8. I didn't really see my dad very much because it was just a really messy divorce. And there was just a lot of complications. I was really detached from my family. And I had to really take care of my mom while I was growing up because she was struggling with a lot of things, with a lot of drug use and manic depression and bipolar. And I had to get a job when I was really young because she never worked. I actually can't even remember a time that she's ever had a job. And so when I was 14, I got a job at an ice cream stand. And after I would get home from school, I would walk a couple miles to the ice cream stand and I would work for a few hours for about $3 an hour. And then I would walk home at night, or my boss would drive me if it was really dark. And I would go home and fix dinner for my mom and clean up the house and make sure that she was okay. And then I would just do my homework and get ready and do the same thing the next day. Throughout pretty much my whole childhood and my teenage years, my mom tried to commit suicide all the time. It was probably 10 or 11 times. She would be in and out of the hospital all the time, and there'd be times that I'd come home from school and she'd be laying on the kitchen floor and she had slit her wrists, or she had overdosed on pills, and I'd have to call 911, and I would have to call her caseworker, and I'd have to call my aunt and just call a bunch of people and make sure that she got to the hospital so that she was treated and she was okay. But it was like the cycle just kept going over and over again. Nothing ever really got better, and it just seemed like life was just a bunch of problems that happened over and over again. I didn't understand why everybody else in the neighborhood had a normal family and why they had 2 parents and brothers and sisters that got along. And I would party once I got older, like in junior high. I would hang out with my friends and just do anything I could to get away from my house if I knew that my mom would be okay for the weekend. I found Christ when I was 15. I had a really good friend in junior high who invited me to a church lock-in. I actually wasn't even going to go to the church. I was just going to go to the lock-in because it sounded like a lot of fun. They had like go-karts and bumper boats and mini golf and everything. And so I was just going to go and have a good time because everyone from my school was going. People that went to church, people that didn't go to church. And it was really cheap, and I asked my mom and she said it was okay. But when I talked to my dad, he told me he wanted to visit the church and make sure that it was legit and just kind of go and see what it was all about. And really, I owe everything to my dad because he was the one that said, you need to go to this church and not just go to their event. I had no idea what a youth group was or what it was like to hang out with other people that went to church because everybody that I was hanging out with didn't. So one night I just gave my life to the Lord, and everything was awesome ever since then. Life since I came to know God has been pretty amazing. I can't believe where I've come and the things that I've done. When I was younger, I used to think that I was just going to be in that small town doing the things that I was doing my whole life. I never thought that I would ever get away or make something of my life. And now I'm in college and I go to Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida, and I love it. It's great. I live with all my friends and I have a great time, and it's just nice for once in my life to live with Christians and to live with people that have the same faith as me because I never experienced that at home. If I could tell someone that was in a similar situation as me when I was younger, anything to give them any hope is that everything happens for a reason. I know that God put me through everything I went through when I was younger because it made me stronger. I feel like I can do anything now. God has a plan for your life, and He knows what's going to happen to you even though you don't. Sometimes it gets so bad, especially for me. I know sometimes it would get so bad that that was the only thing I could hold on to. I wouldn't have family or friends or anything else. So the only thing I would hold on to is knowing that God was going to pull me through and that I was going to be okay.